Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of So What You Hear. I'm Jay,
I'm Craig.
Tiff.
and we are coming to the last week of regular season. Some games don't matter, most games don't matter, but the ones that do really
They
do.
really matter. Yeah.
Man, this playoffs are so exciting. Like, especially when your team's having a bad year, because it's like the first time in football where you just get to enjoy the whole weekend again.
You don't really care.
Because it doesn't matter. I'm not there.
You don't have to watch them
lose. Nobody's going to talk about nobody's going to go through the first round of the weekend, the wild card, and be like, "Don't the Giants wish they were here?" Like, well, no, because you don't go over that with teams.
Nope.
I get to stop hearing about it.
Yeah,
I mean, and even though everybody plays week to week hard, this is just the best of the season. Really going at it, trying to get to the Super Bowl, and I look forward to
it so much every year. But there's still a couple things that need to happen this week to decide who's really going.
Who's going to be there? Yeah.
Actually, it's just the last spots.
Last couple of spots, yeah. Well, the NFC shakes up a little bit of the weirdness on what.
We still don't know who gets their bye and stuff.
That's true.
In the
NFC. The NFC is more relevant for some of the higher placements. The AFC is shaking out the wild cards. Yeah, but it's a rough battle for them wild card in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
You got Denver, Miami, and Cincinnati are the last three teams that have a shot. Right now, Denver's holding on to that 7th spot. They're trying to hold on and keep themselves in the playoffs. Good team. I think they'd be a decent football team, but the Dolphins and Bengals are trying to catch.
But they need the Broncos. They both need the Broncos to lose, and they need the other team who else is Dolphins need to win, and they need Denver and Cincinnati to lose, and then the Bengals need the Dolphins and Broncos to lose to get in.
And if everybody lose, even if Denver lose, they're in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean that's always good for them. Like you always want to lock it in yourself. You want to ensure that you get there yourself. But it does help, and they're playing a hard.
They're playing Kansas City, but I don't know if Kansas City's resting.
I don't know if Kansas City's resting. Miami plays in New York.
And it's cold.
We know what the temperature in New York this week.
In Miami,
they don't win under 40.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is going to make it difficult for them pretty much the whole
playoff run.
Mm-hmm. Like their whole I think the pressure on them as a team is always going to be stronger because their best bet is to win home field advantage. Yeah. They're going to have to win. So they get home field because they do not do well in the cold, and they're the warmest team pretty much.
Yep, exactly.
And the Bengals might get a little bit of help from sitting too, but
the Bengals, I mean, honestly, they shot themselves in the foot early in the season.
Having such a hard time getting going.
Their defense let them down. They have a prolific offense, but
they have no defense.
Well, I mean, even that's played better the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But
so
they need a lot to happen in order.
I will say, if it happens and Denver loses, Dolphins lose, and they win, and they get that playoff,
I'd be afraid to play.
I'd be terrified to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, you think?
Because Joe Burrow is playing at a level where he's like, if I have to score 100 points to win, I will.
Yeah, he is definitely like I said, if their record was they're 12-4. Or 12-5, he'd be
MVP.
He'd be MVP discussion. No.
Oh no comment. No. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that are if he pulls off the playoffs, he probably deserves an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
If he pulls this off, this season was atrocious. Yeah. He'd be up there with the Giants.
But that's the crazy with it, because even our bad year for the Super Bowl bout, Eli didn't play horrible, but he didn't. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the league by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, his touchdown to interception ratio is ridiculous.
They have no defense, though.
Yeah. So and their special teams is a little shaky.
As soon as they make a mistake, they usually end up paying for it because, I think, like you said, these last 2 weeks is the hardest I've seen their defense play. And even still, they was going touchdown for touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, it was still a hard.
And he's doing this with no running game either.
Chase Brown isn't bad.
He's all right, but
I don't know if it's the running. I don't see. The thing is, I don't blame the offense at all. I literally.
Yeah, no, it's definitely defense.
Yeah, they have the number one scoring offense,
even with him scoring like that, even with him scoring like that, if they when they had Mixon, they could control time of control now. You can't control the clock as easily with a passing game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of screwing them a little more than last year did.
Because you can give it's more time usually on a passing game.
Mm-hmm.
The run, runs up the clock.
It's a big thing.
So, but you keep throwing it, every miss you have, the clock just stops.
Yeah. So that's gonna be I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes if they make the playoffs or
Sometimes they score too quick, so they go and just score.
So definitely.
And even if the other team's slow and steady, they still end up scoring.
The Broncos, Dolphins, and Bengals. Because
they're trying to win. So, Jonnu Smith. Mm-hmm. I will say, if I had to be honest, the Dolphins are the way team here.
Yeah.
They do not have it. Denver and Cincinnati have way more of a shot at doing something.
They do have a very good chance of beating the Jets, though.
True.
They can just get in just by default.
That's if the other two teams lose, though.
But they still need Denver to lose to Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know who Kansas City even sitting tomorrow.
I mean, they got a locked up number 1 seed. I don't see you playing. Patrick Mahomes is coming off.
They played last week and they didn't have to. And last year,
they locked up the number 1 seed last week.
Well,
I thought last year they still played everybody. They didn't have to. It was 1 year where they didn't.
Well, they didn't have number 1 seed last season. Remember that they had to fight.
They did.
Buffalo had it.
I think it was. I thought it was 1 year they were locked up and they still played everybody.
I think KC will play their starters because they have a lot of people who are hurt and they need to also kind of be more cohesive going into the playoffs. And because they have the number 1 seed, they also know if you rest your people, you guys aren't gelling. They have that first game, they get beat. They haven't looked good at all this season.
No, and then you might have to deal with them later anyway. So I think that. I mean, but that's what I'm saying, though. I think there's a good chance the Dolphins could squeak in here.
Yeah.
Because
Denver
other people are playing harder teams than they are. Yeah. They're playing the Jets, who haven't looked good. And they're looking for next year at this point themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with them, so they can end up squeaking in here, just and then.
But you're biting a lot of ifs because there's still the if Kansas City plays everybody, if the Dolphins decide they can play in weather that's not 60 and sunny,
also, is Tua playing?
That's right. I don't know if he's even playing.
Had that hip problem.
And didn't Tyler Huntley get hurt too?
Something went down.
I actually just remembered that because I saw this. It was like a TikTok of this little girl crying because all the Miami quarterbacks are hurt. It was funny.
Like the Dolphins,
it wasn't funny. I don't want to say look at a little girl crying,
but
the Dolphins, I think they have the hardest road.
I do too. I'm just saying they're playing the Jets. So if you want to beat somebody,
yeah. Whereas the Bengals play Pittsburgh and Denver plays Kansas City.
That was my only point. Like they end up getting in just because they're playing an awful team.
Yeah. I've noticed all these are divisional games, so I think that's what they went for this. So but see, that can hurt you too, because it being divisional,
they kind of know each other, and they're not gonna
not gonna roll over.
They're gonna try to beat you.
I'd rather screw you out of the playoffs than let you go.
Yeah.
Which, switching down to the NFC, that's kind of what I'm feeling with them, because basically the Bucks and the Falcons are playing for the number 4 spot, but they're playing division rivals. So even though they're 2 division rivals, which actually Carolina's turned into a pretty good team down the end of the season. I can't really say they're a bad team right now. Like if they played like this all year, they might be fighting for that spot.
But they do look bad.
Well, Bryce Young definitely is finally grasped.
Looking like the guy, this
the number 1 overall pick who's finally he figured it out. And him and Adam Thielen
are connecting.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, but
New Orleans is not looking.
Oh man, Spencer Rattler does not look good. Honestly, they lost their head coach. They have no direction, and Alvin Kamara is basically out for the season because of that groin injury.
Yeah,
they just don't look good. And Taysom Hill,
they traded Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, like Taysom Hill towards ACL, all that other stuff.
I'd be very surprised if the Bucks don't get that last spot.
I plan on the Bucks getting it, and the Falcons, I will say Michael Penix doesn't look bad.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't look bad. Especially after seeing him against the Commanders last week in that crazy overtime win.
Yeah, that was a good game.
But I
guess we got to talk about later where we think Cousins is going to end up.
Well, we'll see as the season goes.
We'll see in the offseason really, because it's going to be crazy.
I heard somebody post something about it. He thinks that they're going to have, and this is like one of the big time media guys. He thinks that Kirk Cousins is going to be taking the Browns to the championship.
Browns in Super Bowl. Okay, cool.
I didn't say Super Bowl.
Oh,
I think just the division title.
Oh, in the AFC North. Guess what?
I mean, that's a feat.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Kirk Cousins' body cannot take an AFC North beating.
I don't see that.
He can't play. He's not gonna be able to play. I mean, he played in Minnesota, but they played in the Dome. He's not gonna be able to play in Cleveland cold.
Yeah, he played in Washington.
Cleveland was literally young. Like an hour baby. He was a baby when he played in Washington.
Okay. Sorry.
Freshly out the womb.
Coming out of college, my man was still able to bounce back. Man, he gets smacked by
He
the.
played Michigan State in college.
You're still talking about a baby.
Young man.
How old is he now?
He is an old man.
If that's how y'all feel. Okay.
I won't say nobody can't do something.
I'm sorry. When has anybody ever gone to the Browns and really made them the best that they've broken? Baker Mayfield was the last good quarterback they've had. Decent quarterback.
Where he at? He at Tampa.
He in Tampa now.
Playoff spot.
Yeah.
So
Which I don't think this fight happens if Mike Evans and Godwin is out, because I think losing both of them kind of lost them. What was it, like 2-3 games in the middle?
Yeah.
Pretty much as soon as Mike Evans came back, he started blowing people out.
Oh yeah, I think because I still don't understand the Dallas
Baker
game.
threw 5 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, I don't. I still, which I said, I think after the Dallas loss, they was going to abuse.
Bucky Irving and was it Rashad White are phenomenal. They're so good.
That's another good running back tandem.
Yeah. I got I had Bucky Irving in fantasy. That him and Josh Jacobs pretty much ran me through the season.
Yeah,
they were crazy.
Good luck to Angel.
Oh yeah, good. Congratulations,
Congrats.
Angel.
Oh, he's
in our fantasy. Yeah.
You know what blows me about that? What? He told me, he was like, "Hey, I was looking at the things. The only other team to score enough points to beat him was me."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough. I was like, thanks for telling me.
That's the closest you've been. So you
that's very true. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the closest I've been in the loss is like, it's not necessarily because I made a bad assumption. It was too good of an assumption.
Yeah. Just bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I never thought a player beating a team too bad
would be a problem. Yeah, I've had that problem before.
Definitely.
Yeah, when they sit them, you're like, hold on, why
are you sitting? He's only got about an average amount of points. I know he did in the first quarter, but
really
still.
Hoping the other team score because that's the only thing.
They're gonna bring him back.
That hope.
And then one last thing in NFC. We got the Lions and Vikings fighting for the number 1 seed and the NFC North division title.
Everything locked up.
That game should be really good.
Let's be real. The NFC is running through the NFC North. Whoever makes it to the Super Bowl is coming out of the NFC North. It's either going to be Green Bay, Minnesota, or Detroit.
You don't think it could be Philly?
No.
They're not in the NFC North.
No, no, that's what he thinks. But no, he said.
I want to see. I gotta see. Look, Jalen Hurts been out the past. I guess they're trying to really.
And they're still I know Dallas is not a good team, but like if Dallas beat the Broncos, they beat the out of us. Like
I got you.
Yeah, but y'all have always been bad against the run, and Saquon just took a hand
right now. And you know the one thing the Eagles can do is score.
Yeah, Jared Goff is scoring though. And you know one thing Jalen Hurts doesn't deal with well? Pressure. Jared Goff keeps putting up touchdowns, and Jalen Hurts has that pressure.
From who? Not from the defense.
I have to go out here and score.
Saquon is insane. Here you go. It's too much pressure. There you go.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see.
What team do I hate more than Philly? Yeah. I can't think of one. I'm just being honest and real. Like there's a good chance that Philly could go all the way, and I would hate to see that. Now and then, like they go all the way. Now, like, will I want them to win? No, but then there's some teams I want them to beat. So then you're just like in the same. Do I want Kansas City to win?
You know what be coming true? That Bills Eagles, if they lose to the NFC
that would be crazy.
That's getting close.
I condone. I'm fine.
But you would be happy either way because if the Bills win, you'll be the only team in the NFC East to lose to the Bills
in the Super Bowl.
So that might be great all by itself. That I didn't think about. That might be like
we get a group victory if you're talking about them winning.
And a ha-ha.
And a ha-ha if you lose.
Yeah.
So, nanny boo-boo.
Yeah. Okay. You can go with that. I can go with that. I feel good. That sounds right.
There's a win-win in that.
Well, there are no Thursday games this week. So, we got to move to the 2 Saturday games.
Okay.
Which should be...
that to make up for the playoff. When the playoffs are Saturdays and stuff, right?
Yeah. But these should be very good games.
You think the Browns versus Ravens is going to be a very...
Every divisional game the Browns have played in this year has been a really good game.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Like all the games against Cincinnati, the games against Pittsburgh.
Even though the last week of the season, usually divisional games, it's usually all good. It's usually good anyway. Even though, because everybody's like, they're playing a rival. Unless you're truly out of, even the worst teams, unless you like trying to get that number 1 pick in the draft or something like that. But
yeah.
Hey, I think the Browns are going to play the Ravens well, but I don't know if the Ravens are going to play all the starters, but they better because they know what happens when they don't, and then they go to the playoffs. They usually get
rusty, yeah.
So, And then the Bengals versus the Steelers. That's going to be interesting. The Steelers need this tune up because they need to get ready to keep themselves nice and ready.
And they haven't
been looking a little rough the last couple weeks.
These last games have been rough.
Their last 5 games was the hardest part of their schedule, and honestly, it showed them that they really weren't. You saw the chinks in their armor.
Yeah.
You saw the chinks in their armor. So
yeah,
it's definitely gonna be interesting. Like obviously, the Bengals are gonna score.
I think the Bengals are gonna beat the Steelers.
I think
so.
Too.
Y'all picking Bengals? I'm picking Bengals.
The Ravens for the Browns. Even though, like I said, the Browns did beat the Ravens the first time, so I wouldn't be like. But then, like,
it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, not Jameis Winston.
That's true.
Yeah, I got Ravens and I got Bengals.
I'm going Bengals too.
Mm-hmm.
So we're clean slate on both.
Yes.
God, we'll see. You know how it is.
Yeah, I'd probably be the Browns that end up surprising the Ravens. I really do think.
Yeah.
I very much think the Ravens are going to beat the Browns. But like I said, with Philly, Washington, I would not be like, who could have foreseen this? I'm not going to be shocked if the Browns.
Who could have seen these events
beat the Ravens? I will not be shocked even a little bit. Because for some reason, they tend to do that. And even when they shouldn't at all.
I mean, they've been the worst team in football and still beat some of the teams in their division that went on to win Super Bowls.
So, yeah. But the Bengals really.
The Steelers don't beat teams that put up points, and the Bengals are going to put up 40 because that's what they do.
Yeah, but
so we'll see.
The Bengals defense,
obviously, something's wrong. Something's going on in the Steelers defense because they're not clamping down.
It's not clamping like they have.
Hitting either.
They're not getting the pass rush. Doesn't seem like it's getting there. They're coming up short a lot.
Like they get there, but then like you could just.
Yeah, I'm used to. Something's not right.
Something's not right. So
but that's what I got. I got the Ravens Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think this last week is gonna be really good football.
Oh, I think it's gonna be really good football.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah, and then just a very hyped up week until we get into playoff play. Wow. It's gonna be a lot of rumors and BS being thrown around.
Yep.
This is a new year.
It is the new year. I don't think we said Happy New Year. We didn't. Happy New Year, everybody.
I guess thank you for sticking with us. Who stick with us?
Yeah.
The last
2 years, I think it's been.
So, we're going to keep it steaming, get it moving, right?
Yeah.
And if you want that to happen and you want to help that,
you gotta like,
you gotta subscribe.
And share.
Comment.
Even if you're like, that's pretty good. That's enough. Like it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to go to the YouTube, drop to Twitter, drop over to Instagram, hit them up a little bit. I put some of the shows, I put clips and stuff.
Updates, you put updates up there.
I do keep updates. People getting hurt, people getting cut, people getting fired, new coaches. So
it's all in there. We
try to keep everything as updated as possible. Keep everybody informed. But that brings us to the end. So I guess we'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.